I am in a bit of a conflict with a person again this morning. And whenever that happens, you can be sure that I'm going to talk about it just to process the reasons behind the conflict. And I'm not going to mention the person or the name, because this musing is not about the person. It's going to be about the concept that is responsible for the conflict between us. So if you happen to see this video and you out yourself and say, she's talking about me, that is then on you. If you want to be known publicly for this context and concept. But I am purposely avoiding making it about you, because I am not one that's interested in engaging in personal gossip or shaming a person. But I need to address the concept, the underlying factor that keeps coming up again and again and again with people who stress, rely, and lean on their relationship with Jesus so heavily. I am finding that the people who do that, who insist on their relationship with Jesus, are the most wounded people, because they use the idea, the concept of a relationship with Jesus as a psychological crutch to live with their trauma, with their unconscious trauma, and not have to take responsibility, right? And of course this comes out in our person-to-person relationships, in differences of opinion, when these traumas are triggered. And the total ego response, and I'm going to switch away from using the word ego and rather refer to it as left brain reaction, left brain response, because that way nobody can delude themselves and deceive themselves into thinking they have no ego. You don't like your ego, so you don't want to own your ego. But everyone has a left brain, and most of us predominantly use our left brain when it comes to fight or flight or defending ourselves. So we're always in that ego left brain mode. And I'm not saying don't use your ego, don't use your left brain. Our challenge is to not just be in the left brain, to just be one-sided, but to try and be balanced and be together. Use the left brain, but also engage the right brain and employ intuitiveness, sensitivity, right? Not just reactiveness. But anyways, I guess the point I'm trying to make is we all have ego, and we all function from the left brain, and We can all be pretty shitty sometimes in our attitudes. And I make excuse for that because that's just what we humans are. But to wrap that into the cloak of having a relationship with Jesus is absolutely unnecessary. Having your quote-unquote relationship with Jesus does not make you a better person at all. It just doesn't make you own your shit, right? You hide behind Jesus. You hide behind that relationship. And all that really does is give Jesus a bad reputation. Because your life isn't changed. It's just hiding aspects of you that you don't want to own, right? So you hide behind your relationship with Jesus. So that is useless to me. That is the real hypocrisy. You are living avoidant of taking ownership of your shadows. And Jesus, this illusion of a relationship with Jesus is hindering you from doing the shadow work, from transmuting. Like I say, first you have to own it and not try to make Jesus responsible for your half-ass human behavior, right? Just take ownership. Because when you take ownership, you have to empower yourself and do something about it. While we have a relationship with Jesus, we're unlikely to do anything about it because we just couch ourselves in that sense of forgiveness, His love for us, right? Well, love yourself enough to get your act together. Love yourself enough to become aware of the shadow sides. Love yourself enough to become aware how defensive you really are, how insecure you really are, right? Do the shadow work. Forget about this relationship with Jesus. It's a fantasy, and it's not doing really any good. It's not helping at all. So, I don't know if I made my point. The concepts, yeah, the concept is what deceives us, and we just have to own up to it. So now I gotta clear this energy out of me so that it doesn't consume me for the rest of the day. I'm gonna do it by weeding this garden and hopefully come home in a different energy.